Hey guys, welcome to this DVD. This one's about tilts. So we're going to be going over different tilts. So usually it's going to be getting the cross wrist. That's where we do a lot of our tilts from, but it'll also be from a ball and chain and things like that. So is after somebody's broken down, we're going to get to things like reinforced tilts, reinforced bars, two tilt, and then ball and chain. So we're going to be taking you through that and really focus on getting our back points. It's not so much about pinning as it is about getting points and starting to demoralize your opponents. All right guys, so working on tilts right now is our focus, and tilts are great because you can score a lot of points in a short amount of time. And then once you guys have that lead, or once you guys come back, it really plays on the mental aspect of your opponent. To have 6 points scored within 20 seconds against you and be down 6-0 without any turns really hurts a guy on bottom. So I think top is one of the positions that you can really make up a lot of ground if you're a newer wrestler to the sport. You know, everyone's pretty good and neutral. When you're on top, if you can learn to score points in bunches, it's really where you're going to start damaging people. So starting to get the cross wrist, what we need to do is we need to get this to our hand, all right? So the opposite wrist is going to come to our hand. And to get this, we can do a couple different things. Back to our DVD with first move stoppers and breakdowns, we can get to it, by a chop, or we're coming here and attack on the cross wrist. We can drive straight across and grab the cross wrist. We can get our foot in here and come with our hand and come cross wrist. We can get a lot of different ways, all right? But once we have it, that's really when our work starts with tilts. So a couple things that I like to explain to kids first when it comes to doing tilts. A big thing is that I don't want inside here. This is something that I used to do when I was real little, just because I didn't know any better. I was like, oh, I'm gonna tilt, and so I seen people doing tilts, and a lot of times this is how they were doing it. Little did I know those weren't the people that were really good at it. A lot of the times, you can hit it like that, but I just feel like it's really loose. So when I get this cross wrist, all right, my tilt position here is here, outside. I like 4 fingers in, thumb included, and I'll kind of dig in this little hole, this little pocket where his elbow's at. All right, from here, all right, we need him up in our hip pockets. We need to control his hips here. So we don't want to step and like lift him or anything like that. We want to just come here. We're going to put knee in, and then right here, we're going to sink him up a little bit so he's in our hips, and we're going to fall back. All right, right here, a couple things with our tilt. All right, this bottom knee is always pointed straight to the ceiling. All right, the back knee will vary between pinching, or if he is turning away or turning into us here, or sorry, turning away, we can elevate to try and get his back exposed. All right, he turns into us, we'll pinch, away from us, comes up. All right, you get your count, and then it's back down to the mat. So again, just getting basic tilt position down. Knee to the ceiling is a big thing. A lot of people, what happens, however they're coming to their tilt, their knee isn't up, and they're worried about pinching their back leg. When they pinch their back leg, their knee comes down. So from here, knee comes in, and you pull them into your hips and go. So a lot of people here pinches, they're worried about, you tell the kids that they gotta pinch, and they pinch so hard that their knee comes down, and this guy's back is not exposed. So really the number one focus is pointing to the ceiling here, and then your back knee pinches a little bit. All right, he turns away, you lift it, elevate. All right, he turns into us and pinch. Always finishing on top when you're done with your tilt. Guys, our next tilt that we can use, and a good thing about this is that we're going to go from one to the other. So if he's pressuring away from us, we can go to a regular tilt. If he's pressuring the other way, then we can roll through with it. So here, if I have the cross wrist, if I'm trying to go this way and he's turning down the other way, here it allows me to hit my roll through here and end up in the same tilt. So a couple things that I talk with people and they, you know, it's where you have something in your head so much that you think it is that way. A big thing here, so he's coming up here, is that people, they always think it's like, oh, when I want it really tight, right? So what do? They pull the wrist really tight, and they get this cross wrist, and now they think they're gonna hit their tilt. Problem is though, is once you come down, and once you hit it here, right? If he's up and I've got it tight and everything like that, look at this. The further I pull this wrist, all right, his shoulder's coming away from the mat. I'm helping him get off his mat, or off his back. So I'm helping him defend my move. All right, so I don't want to pull it here. Before I go, I want to pull it, I want to push it away from me. So he comes to his knees, right here. So before I go with my tilt, I always do just a little switch. I go here, I go, boom. I put his wrist on his hip bone, and then I'll hit my tilt. So he's down here. All right, so I'll be trying to come over here. I always give him a little bit of pressure, and he turns down for me, here, and hitting it. All right, and in a good tilt position, leg up, foot can elevate still. One other thing, and I know there's probably a lot of guys, I know it's something that's been big in high school since the people doing roll through tilts, they like to put their elbow inside the knees. It's not wrong by any means. It's actually really tight if they can get it. But a problem that I see a lot with people that do that all the time is anyone that's good and has scouted them or seen it before, exactly, you know, it's like if they put it down there, there's no way I can get this elbow in if he just closes down the side. So that's why I like putting my elbow on the outside here. So I'll punch, and I'll put my elbow on the outside, head goes down, and then all I'm doing is I'm walking my feet in a circle here, boom, over top, and landing in our tilt. So make sure, pushing the arm away from us, head goes on the side, all right, not elbow in the middle of the legs, and then going through, landing in our tilt position. And that's the roll through tilt. So one thing that I told you guys before is that for this guy to defend our tilt, if we go elbow in, he can just go down and crunch his shoulder so we can't get it. This guy now is gonna go flat. So he knows that I'm really good at tilt, and he knows that I'll score 15 points on him in a matter of 2 minutes. So rather than getting turned that much, he's gonna lay on his belly and stall. And this happened to me in high school. And so because that happened, I had to figure out ways to score points still. And one thing I realized that with effort, you can still get the turns here as long as you get him to react the right way. So it's getting this guy to turn down one side or the other, because then he'll give you that way. So starting out with this cross wrist, if this guy just goes flat to his belly when we're here, we're still gonna do the exact same thing. Attacking this elbow here, all right? I always wanna go one way, so if I'm pretending here, I'm gonna roll through. Here, I'll lift this leg up, I'll come down, and now it's sliding him up my body, so my leg has been turned into a ramp. So here, slide him up. And then once I do, now it's driving and getting him down here and getting that tilt. Again, elevating the leg, but it's getting underneath his hips, just like a gut wrench. Attacking this cross wrist here. So once he's down here, I'm gonna act like I'm going one way and come back. So here, I'll come here like I'm gonna roll through. He turns down, and when he does, I slide him up, and I come back with it and get these back points. And then same thing, but in the other respect, if he knows I come this way, he's gonna turn this other hip down. He does, and then I'm gonna go to it. So cross wrist, so I come slide up, and he doesn't want it. And I hit my tilt. So here, I'm driving, I try and slide up, he turns down, here, and get my tilt. All right? A pretty common mistake, and something that you want to watch out for tilts, is that with a lot of people that are inexperienced with tilts, a thing that happens is that they get panicked. So for instance, I get here and I'm tilting, and this guy comes over top of my head, he's starting to go here, and rather than following him, they'll let go of the wrist, which is the worst thing that you can do. As long as you have this wrist, you have control of the person. So you want to keep the wrist. He comes over, keep the wrist and follow him. So anytime I'm getting a tilt, he's on his back here. If he comes over top of me, that's fine. You know, there's really nothing he can do here to me, as long as I'm keeping the wrist and following. Other than that, one last thing here, one thing to point out, you have to watch my elbow when I'm going to this other side and rolling through on his belly. A lot of people will put it right on the side. A place that it has to go, it has to be pointed up here, because then it'll help you lift it. All right, you'll have power in your shoulder, your upper body still, as opposed to down here. All right, so run it like you would do like a skull crusher and like weightlifting. So head goes down, I'm still gonna go, but right here you can see my elbows up, as opposed to here, I have no power. So here, I can pull. When my elbow's down, I don't have the ability to get them up. Again, tilts from laying down. When this guy's trying to stall, you're still gonna be getting him. All right, guys, so this tilt here, again, it plays into our tilts, but it's done in a little bit different fashion. And the first place I seen this really was Matt Dragon from the University of Pennsylvania, and it was back really when he was in high school still. I started watching him, and he was probably one of the most dangerous people I've seen with a tilt. But he always hit it when people stood up because they'd be bringing their hands in. He'd get the cross wrist and then get 3 points. So rather than them getting one escape, he would get 3 points for back points and then probably turn them again. So a little bit different than what he did, just because I'm not as skilled as he was. And then also attacking and putting our legs on the back of the legs here is illegal now. So rather than doing that, this is the one time where I'll tell people to get their elbow on the inside of the legs. So from here, all we're gonna do is we're gonna punch, and we're gonna pull this one tight. We're gonna punch, and we're gonna get our elbow in the middle here with our head, leg, or our chin right on our hand, and all we're gonna do is circle down. So we'll circle, circle, circle. Here, I'll open my body, and this is another point where it varies from our other tilts. Is I'm not holding him with my arms, I'm holding him with my elbow and my knee. As long as these stay together, he's not getting off his back. He can come into me, he can go away from me, all right, and he's not getting out. All right, so it's a little bit different. Getting your 3 count, after you have it, turning it back down. So again, this is a place where you can get a lot of people with cross wrists, because all he's gonna do here, yeah, he's bringing the hand in. So if you guys can get savvy enough to know that when he's coming to his feet to catch his cross wrist, all right, you can get a lot of back points here. So here, punching it and getting that elbow in. So as soon as I see it, boom, boom, in, walk, 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 and landing with our elbow and our knee connected, right here. Getting our back points, and back over, staying on top. It's not a move that you're gonna get a pin from, but it's definitely one that's effective and good enough to get you 3 points and not go with that escape. So it's a standing tilt. All right, guys, this is a reinforced bar from the belly. All we're doing is we're starting the crosses. We're gonna get the push-pull just like last time. It's no different. The only thing that makes this more difficult is that this guy's body weight will usually be on his arm. So we have the cross wrist here, and his arms pulled down. And one other thing is we want his arm pulled as close as we can to his waistline, so he's wearing his arm like a seatbelt, all right, around his waist, as opposed to, I tell my guys wearing it like a bra. All right, you don't want your tilts up top by the chest. You want to have it down low like a belt. So here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up, so I want to get his weight off his arm, and then I'm going to push-pull. All right, if I have to do it 2 or 3 times to get it loose enough so I can get some space to get this in, then I'll do that. So if I get it in, it's the same thing as last time. Turn it here, sliding up, turning down. So push-pull, get some space, sliding him up my leg, and then turning him over. all right? Or if I want him to pull over here and he turns down, all I'm gonna do is jump my knee to this far side here, and then I'm going like a barrel roll over his back. One thing again, I was fortunate enough to have Greg Gillespie in as a clinician, and one thing he would do in practice and drilling as well as live is he would just roll back and forth in one way or the other, continuing to use that reinforced bar. So he would get 20 turns in the matter of 2 minutes, in the matter of one period. But it just reinforces your confidence in the move, and it gets you used to rolling from one side to the other, faking one way, going back to the other. And that's something that's really, really important when you're using this, is just to be able to flow from one to the other. Again, reinforced bar. So this is the ball and chain technique here, and again, it's going to start from coming from a cross wrist. So we're going to have our cross wrist, whichever side you have it. All we're going to do is when he's broken down, we're going to come in through the back and the middle of his legs, and we're going to attack this wrist. So I'm coming in, attacking this wrist. And once we do, this is the big point, is that we can't have, if I'm like this, he's going to bring his hand back, he's going to peel his hand off, all right, and he's going to be out. So one thing, as soon as I do it, as soon as I pass it off, I switch here. So I'm separating his two hands with my knees, all right, and I'll start working here. A couple different things you can do from here is attacking his upper body and his head here. I'll come over here. You can come bar here and start driving forward. And then at the same time, you're driving forward here, driving forward to his back. I like to step over the head with my leg. Boom. If you're in high school, don't figure 4. Another one here. Again, I'll just start working this knee under, and then once I do, I'll sit back, all right? And then while pinching under, I'll slide my hand in. So as soon as he's swimming it off, I'm going to half Nelson, all right? Running it over, taking him to his back. One other turn that I'll be doing here is punching my hand in the far side. I don't really have a name for this one, and I'll just step up. So I'll punch it in. I keep my elbow on the side, like on his kidney here, and I really want to pressure down hard, and I focus more on pressuring down than I do pulling. So I'll go here, and I'll step my leg in the middle, over top, and so this is where the leg in the middle really comes in handy. A lot of people just have it here, and he'll bridge out. If when you're doing it, you step above his knee, it'll act as a hook so he can't roll into you. So I'll step above his knee, so now when I go here, you can see he can't turn into me. All right, extend the arm straight, come back on top. And the last one I'll do from here is if he's being stubborn, he's turning down so I can't get this, he keeps his arm in so I can't come there. I'll come back with this back hand, and I'll try and capture his leg. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take it into a Turk. So I'm here, I'm going back and forth, I can't get it. I'll sneak this elbow down to his knee and come up so I get this Turk. And once I do that, I can start pressuring forward, looking for my bars, my halves, and elevating the back leg. And that's the ball and chain Turks, tilts, where I'll be doing a couple different things. As far as half Nelson, stepping over the head, Turks, or pump handle. Coming back to the ball and chain, there's a few tricky turns that I didn't mention that I kind of want to cover because I use them a little bit when the guys on bottom started figuring things out, figuring out what I was doing. So when I have the ball and chain here, my favorite technique by far was coming here to this move here. I'd spread the back side and I'd start coming. But the only problem that I had was when I'd start bringing it up, they would turn down. So I was thinking for a while, and I started watching some video, and somebody told me that Mark Chiarelli was really good here. So I started watching him, and I started picking up a few things. So one thing that he would do when he was coming here, and you would get it, is that he couldn't come this way, so he'd hook the leg here. And he would just hook with his heel. But so when he did that, now he would roll through with it and turn here where he had no post. So he came here and he would shoulder you. So you're turning your shoulder down here and kicking your leg over the backside and coming out top. And then of course, down. So you're coming here, this guy turns down. All you're doing is hooking this leg and then you're hopping. Hopping, leg over top. Extend your arm, and so on. And then actually one other thing that I picked up from the video that I was watching is I started watching it, and people before he would even get this is they would turn down. So he's got the ball and chain here, but they wouldn't let his arm get in, right? So he's here, he's trying to get his hand in, and he couldn't do it. And the funny thing is, I watched him and he continued to do it. So I was trying to figure out what he did. So I realized that right now the mat is stopping this guy or stopping my hand from getting in. So what I want to do is take the mat away. So I'll continue to have my hand right here. I'll get this leg. And since he's turning down so hard this way, I'm still hitting it. And now right now he doesn't have the mat to protect himself. It comes in and I get my turn again. So rolling through without your hand in even is something that you can do. Again, it's trail turn.